We'll have the whole story coming up on the Weather Channel.
Call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER, before you hit the road, and you'll be prepared for any weather Old Man Winter brings.
There's a tornado coming to your video library. Now, a new title from the Weather Channel that you can own on video, The Enemy Wind. 45 minutes of tornado action and 2 thrilling stories. First, follow the exploits of a fearless storm chaser and photographer as he documents the fury of the storm. Then, the Weather Channel production that takes you inside the destructive force of a tornado, The Enemy Wind. How the storm is forecast and the tale of one tornado town. Plus, at no extra charge, the Weather Channel 1993 Tornado Calendar. 13 dramatic photos and dozens of amazing tornado tales. Call 1-800-525-6600 now, and you can own The Enemy Wind and the 1993 Tornado Calendar, all for just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600 now and charge by phone or send check or money order to the address on the screen. Call now. You're watching the Weather Channel. Accurate and dependable forecasts you can always turn to. And when you're away from your television, the Weather Channel forecast is also available from the following.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
A lot of great places to take pictures. There are a lot of great times to take pictures. But there's only one place to take all your pictures. Walmart. It's always the perfect place. And any time is the perfect time. Because only Walmart combines Kodak Color Watch quality with the one low price you can always count on. Without a coupon, every day of every week. There's no better place to take pictures than Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
Walmart, always the low price, always.
Sinus weather, and you're about to take a sinus medicine that could make you drowsy. Next time, take Sudafed Sinus, the maximum strength combination of pain reliever and fast-working decongestant found in Sudafed that won't cause drowsiness. For non-drowsy relief, depend on Sudafed Sinus because people depend on you, now in easier-to-swallow tablets and caplets.
Well, check a winter storm update right now, and whoa, what a lot of snow this has been. Take a look. We have a new category. As you see, we usually only go up to the white, which is a foot. 2 feet or more. New York state line, Pennsylvania, Maryland Panhandle down into northern West Virginia, locally 3 feet. And locally up to 2 feet from the Catskills of New York into a lot of the interior of Massachusetts, and some snow out in Michigan. But this is the greater Hartford area, the hills around Hartford, Connecticut, yesterday coming in and coming on strong with heavy snow. 4 inches on the ground. They just picked up 2 inches in 6 hours at Bradley Field, but the hills around that area, east and especially to the west, Danbury, Waterbury, northwest corner when it gets hilly, 1 to 2 feet of snow right now. Worcester, Mass. with 26, still counting, up to 30 inches in the Berkshires. Great Barrington with 20, Boston 4 and increasing. Coastal flood warning in effect. The tide's running high right about now. Maine coast down toward Boston, the North Shore getting flooding. Old Orchard Beach around Portland. Flood watch further on to the south. We've got action in the west too. Take a look. We've got some snow over a foot in the Cascades to the Sierra, and more on the way. Let's take a look at a satellite vantage point of all this right now for just a brief moment and see a spectacular storm still punching the moisture and the snow into the east. and some rain beginning to gather in Texas around the Rio Grande Valley. To the west, though, well, right now we'll look at the spinning and turning of snow. 95% of this is snow sweeping into southern New Jersey and a sleety mixture on Cape Cod. Now to that snowfall potential. We still have it up to 6 or more inches in southern New England and beginning to pile up now. Colorado, New Mexico, Gallup, New Mexico has heavy snow and it's snowing pretty hard in parts of Colorado. There it is as we wind down the storm in the east and wind up the storm in the Rockies and the Plains. We can talk about the good afternoon forecast right now, what's coming up with Dennis.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, as we examine the status across the country. First off, for later on this afternoon, the snow will still be going on. Fortunately, not quite the intensity in winds or snow coverage as what we've seen the last 2 days, but still very important for residents of Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and even Connecticut, so keep that in mind. Some more snow working its way across the Rockies. On Sunday, building eastward, spilling into the plains. Winter advisories are out already anywhere from Minnesota back down into New Mexico. Drying out along the west coast, fortunately drying out in the northeast. The winds will subside as well. Some of the precipitation working its way into the plains. Some more rain. It's not over with in the northeast, but the good news is by tomorrow it should be just about out of there. Some more snow for the San Juan Mountains piling up. It's not over with in Massachusetts either. They've got some more to shovel out. 20s across the northern tier states, 60s, 70s along the Gulf Coast. As we look at conditions for tomorrow morning, it'll be chilly, sub-zero readings, and even with that fresh snow cover, teens and 20s. It will be cold.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade or your money back. Remington has diamond-honed cutting edges and 2 flexible, ultra-thin screens that stretch the skin and lift whiskers to let you shave below skin level. That's Remington.
Biscuits made with new reduced fat Bisquick have half the fat, but it's the taste that'll bring them back. Original and now reduced fat Bisquick. Taste how good it can be.
Look closely. Can you tell the difference between these 2 contact lenses? They're the same prescription, the same brand name, but this lens cost 50% less and was delivered by Federal Express right to my front door. That's the Lens Express difference. Great savings and great service. Hi, I'm Linda Carter. I wear contact lenses, and I wouldn't trust these eyes to just anyone. I call Lens Express and get my replacement contacts delivered to me the very next day. It's terrific.
Call for this free Lens Express catalog. It's full of savings on contact lenses. All the top brands, like AccuView, Ciba, Bausch & Lomb, Wesley Jessen. And because they're sent directly to you, you'll save up to 50% off the retail price.
I trust these baby blues to Lens Express. Look closely, and you'll see one very satisfied customer.
Now you can replace your contacts as often as your doctor recommends and save. Call for a free Lens Express catalog.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Now on video, 45 minutes of fast tornado action, plus the 1993 tornado calendar. Just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
Wintry travel, the order of the day, one of the storms they'll remember for quite some time in the Northeast, snowing hard and accumulating in Boston, and it's been doing it in Worcester for quite some time. The greater Hartford area, New York City coming in with light to occasionally moderate snow, accumulating on the grassy surfaces, no doubt, and in the hills even more, and that turnover to snow sweeping through Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Let's take a look at a radar right now. We're looking at 90 to 95% snow here. A little bit of rain mixed in southern Jersey, but even that's going over to snow. And a little bit of a rainy, sleety, snowy mixture on Cape Cod, but a lot of this is heavy and it's rotating around our big ocean low. Wintry travel, of course, it's still there in the Northeast, parts of the Appalachians, and spreading from the Rockies into the Great Plains. There could be some pretty good accumulations up toward the Canadian border and down toward the Mexican border. Rain where it's not snowing, and maybe some strong thunderstorms, especially later.
As soon as one winter storm cranks up in the east, another one moves in from the west. Coming up, we'll show you what that means for the coming weekend.
For regional Michelin drivers reports, call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER.
Isn't it wonderful? A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The XH4. Congratulations. It's a Michelin. Backed by an 80,000-mile treadwear limited warranty. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you because so much is riding on your tires.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information. The forecast for cities nationwide. Regional forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's weather. We've got some videotape to show you out of Hoboken, New Jersey, as floodwaters continued to ravage the New York City area. New Jersey Governor Jim Florio has declared a limited state of emergency for 7 counties. At midday, rescue crews counted 52 cars submerged and abandoned around the central part of the highway running along the East River. Hoboken, very hard hit, strong winds. New Jersey coastline picked up 90-mile-an-hour winds, and water was being driven onshore and up the mouths of the rivers and causing remarkable flooding. Let's take a look at the current situation around the country. And here's our storm off the northeast coast. Now, for the past 3 days, this has been dealing eastern U.S. with a very difficult time. The low now is offshore. It is very slowly edging its way onto the east, but even by tomorrow, you're not going to see, you will see some decrease in the amount of precipitation, but you won't see any decrease of any consequence in the amount of wind. So strong north and northeasterly winds continue to slam now, particularly into the New England coast and back into the southern parts of New England, while snow continues to fall right up to the shoreline across New England and then on back into the western parts of New York. That's the way it looks in the east. Now, in the west, we've got another storm that's brewing back through this part of the country with snow in the Rockies, snow and rain down into Arizona, edging into New Mexico, and a lot of moisture coming in off the Pacific Ocean, trailing across Texas, the potential here for strong thunderstorms. Let's take a look at the satellite photograph of the eastern United States in motion. You can see the storm sitting here just winding itself up, continuing to blow onto the New England coast, winds out of the north and northeast, still running 40 and 50 miles an hour at times. Floodwaters still very much with folks along the coastal areas, and extremely heavy snow to 1 and 2 and even 3 feet back into the inland areas. But now it's snowing all the way to the coast. Boston's reporting a lot of snow. We're getting 1 inch an hour snows just last hour. Now, as far as to the west is concerned, we have still got that storm building back into this part of the country here, and it looks as though Colorado and New Mexico most likely will catch the brunt of this one, and there's this great flow of moisture coming in across the Mexican areas into Texas. So that's a continuing problem across the western U.S. Look for remarkably heavy snow in the mountains, and then very heavy rains along ahead of it as it moves on out to sea, out into the plain states. Here's a look at the snow history in the northeastern United States. You can see that western Pennsylvania back into western Maryland and down into West Virginia and northern Virginia were the hardest hit, with localized snows into here of up to 35 inches. Here are some of the amounts that we have recorded. Ogletown, Pennsylvania, 36 inches. Frostburg, Maryland, 28 inches. In Massachusetts, Worcester, 26, a new record for 24 hours. Cheshire, 16, while Boston's had only 3, but they had been in rain for quite a long time. Coastal flood warning from Eastport, Maine to Fenwick Island. To the south of that, a coastal flood watch. Rainfall amounts in Boston rained to 3.5 inches. South Weymouth, 3 1/3. New York had over 1 2/3 inches. Back to the west, our storm continues to move across that part of the country with snow as far north as the Canadian border. Snow as far south as just shy, really, of the Mexican border. And the history of this storm is 1 foot snows across the Cascades and down into the Sierra as it edged on to the east. Now, our jet stream shows that this system is going to continue to sit here and spin off the east coast temporarily while the next storm gets itself ready in the west. And with the northern branch of the jet this far to the north, none of that really bitterly cold Arctic air is going to be moving on in. So we're looking at a storm, but we're not looking at a bitterly cold storm. Remember, the origin of this one is off the Pacific Ocean. However, it is still, once it gets into higher elevations, dropping a lot of snow across the mountains, and a continuation of moisture keeps coming on in with the storm system. And there's more out to the north and west continuing to work its way on in as well. Well, by the time we get into the afternoon hours this afternoon, our storm will be moving on out to sea. There'll still be very strong winds on the east coast. Could see another inch to a half an inch of rain or liquid precipitation in the northeast, and scattered areas of a half an inch to 1 inch in the west. Now, some of this will be snow from New Mexico, from North Dakota on back down into New Mexico, with the heaviest snow, looks like 6 inches or better, southern Colorado and northern parts of New Mexico. And another 6 inches, a possibility in the central parts of New England. Cold to the north and west, cold in the northeast, getting much colder during the nighttime hours, of course. The warmest air will be along the south central coast into the Gulf of Mexico and back down into parts of Florida. But back to the west, our low trough continues to work east, and it gobbles up more and more territory as it moves. So the country, generally, except for a few little slivers like the southeast and the southwest, continues to cool off, generally speaking, teens to the north.
Parts of the Northeast buried under as much as 3 feet of snow. We'll have the latest on this major winter storm coming up on the Weather Channel.
Every year, the tiniest droplets of moisture from the Pacific cross the west, dance in the jet stream, and dump all over Utah. Skiers agree Utah has the greatest snow on Earth. Light, dry snow gives you a choice: powder or easy-to-ski packed runs. You can leave home in the morning and ski Utah that afternoon. Call or write for your free Ski Utah Winter Vacation Planner. Get to know Utah snow.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Play Weather Trivia for your chance to win the grand prize, a Swiss Air trip for 2 to Europe. Just 95 cents per minute. Call 1-900-WEATHER now.
Here is your skier's report, which is forecast by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Now, at the Western satellite photograph, we get the ski conditions in a minute. The Western satellite photograph is showing us another storm winding up in the Rocky Mountains and spinning its way on toward the Continental Divide. That'll be starting to move out into the plains over the next 24 hours, but its influence is going to be felt over a large area to the south. As far as what has happened at the moment is, excuse me, Keystone Arapahoe's got 25 to 30 inches, Big Mountain in Montana 24 to 48, and Heavenly in Nevada, California's got 44 to 70, while Aspen Snowmass is reporting 23 to 29 inches. Jackson Hole picked up 2 inches of snow. Copper Mountain, Colorado, 28 inches of a base, and they're all reporting packed powder except for Jackson Hole, which has still got groomed conditions. Now, as far as the forecast for snowfall is concerned, notice southern Colorado and northern New Mexico would be the most favored spots, although as you work on to the north into Wyoming, you could see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. The forecast into the day on Monday calls for the snow to be still working its way across the Continental Divide. Lighter snow, of course, some rain in the northwest, and by Tuesday, a windy time.
from Bourbon Street, in its own little corner of the Garden District, is the most fabled house in New Orleans, the Maple Street Children's Bookshop, where the folks who write the books also read them. So if you go, bring your wildest imagination and your Visa card, because at Maple Street, they'll take you on a truly magical journey, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You can use your Visa card at the Pearl Vision Center nearest you.
The Brita water filtering pitcher. To operate, turn on the tap. The tap water flows through Brita's replaceable filter. Copper and lead are dramatically reduced. Chlorine taste and odor virtually eliminated. But even if you don't remember how Brita works, you'll never forget how Brita tastes.
Available at Target and participating Ace Hardware store.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Cast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. The intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
This new software connects your computer with the National Weather Service. Plan travel, boating, camping, outdoor activities anytime, anywhere in the U.S. for free. With PC Weatherman, there are no time charges, no telephone costs. Pay just $29.95 and turn your PC into a PC Weatherman. Order now. Call 1-800-GET-PC-Weatherman.
This Traveler's Update, National Radar shows quite a few echoes still in the Northeast. Now, to the south is rain. To the north, it's snow, and extremely strong winds driving that snow in from the north and the northeast as the storm continues to whirl offshore. Driving through here, particularly tricky. Some places reported 2 to 3 feet of snow. Back to the west, we're not picking up all the snow that's falling in the Rockies, but we're seeing a little bit of Montana, Wyoming, and around the Black Hills. This is rain down around Del Rio and rain in the southern portions of Arizona as well. But the wintry travel would extend from northern Montana all the way down deep into New Mexico and Arizona. And in the east, still back in the mountains of Pennsylvania, back into the Blue Ridge Mountains, and across New York, northern New Jersey, and on to the coast, including coastal Maine. To the south, we're talking basically about rain then across a good part of New Jersey down into the vicinity of the Chesapeake Bay. Generally quite light now, but there's still some fairly strong winds there. Rain in the plains, rain in South Arizona.
As soon as one winter storm cranks up in the east, another one moves in from the west. Coming up, we'll show you what that means for the coming weekend.
Call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER, before you hit the road, and you'll be prepared for any weather Old Man Winter brings.
There's a tornado coming to your video library. Now, a new title from the Weather Channel that you can own on video, The Enemy Wind. 45 minutes of tornado action and 2 thrilling stories. First, follow the exploits of a fearless storm chaser and photographer as he documents the fury of the storm. Then, the Weather Channel production that takes you inside the destructive force of a tornado, The Enemy Wind. How the storm is forecast and the tale of one tornado town. Plus, at no extra charge, the Weather Channel 1993 Tornado Calendar. 13 dramatic photos and dozens of amazing tornado tales. Call 1-800-525-6600 now, and you can own The Enemy Wind and the 1993 Tornado Calendar, all for just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600 now and charge by phone or send check or money order to the address on the screen. Call now.
If you're about to travel, watch the 5-Day Business Planner here on the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after every hour. You get a comprehensive national report that covers the forecast over the next 5 days. Watch the 5-Day Business Planner coming up soon on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
The leading baking mix comes in a box. New Recipes all-purpose baking mix comes in a resealable easy scoop canister. Doesn't that sound like a better idea? New from Martha White.
Look for Recipes, the new variety baking mix in a resealable canister at your favorite supermarket.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade or your money back. 2 flexible screens let you shave whiskers below skin level. It's quick, smooth, comfortable. A great value. The Remington microscreen.
When Jeffrey catches a cold, we see the pediatrician.
I love my pediatrician. He's my dad.
He recommends Dimetap Elixir.
Doctors have recommended the Dimetap brand over 200 million times. It relieves sneezing, nasal congestion, runny noses.
And Jeffrey really likes the great taste.
Doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours. Now get the great taste of Dimetap Elixir in new Dimetap chewable tablets.
Now it's time for us to take a look at satellite photograph and radar review. Now our storm in the east is fairly evident. All you got to do is look for a counterclockwise spinning of the clouds, and that's what you'll find around this tremendous nor'easter, which has had hurricane force winds, which has dropped up to 3 feet of snow in parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland, back into the northern parts of Virginia. Currently snowing very heavily around Boston and Worcester. Still snow flying to about the central parts of New Jersey. To the south of that, there's rain. And this system is not moving, just barely gradually edging its way onto the east. Its effects are going to be felt for another 24 to 36 hours, at least the winds will, along the coast coming in from the north and the northeast, and gusting at times to better than 50 miles an hour even today. It'll be gusty again tonight and on into the day tomorrow. Back to the west, we have another storm that's working its way out of the Rocky Mountains, and there it is right there, and it continues to edge slowly on to the east. Now, it's dropping a fair amount of snow in spots across parts of Utah and Colorado and northern Arizona and into the northern parts of New Mexico, and that's expected to continue. And as it moves on out into the plains, it is going to tap a vast reservoir of wet air that has been flowing across Mexico and into the plains. So look for rain in the plains, southern plains, rain and the possibility of even heavy thunderstorms. Now, there's rain evident now in parts of northern Mexico and along the Rio Grande in Texas. There's our snow to the north and rain to the south in the northeastern United States. And spotty areas of snow are all we're picking up across parts of Montana and North Dakota, South Dakota, and on down into Wyoming. That's rain in the southern parts of Arizona. In the northeast, you can see the coverage is almost complete from southern New Jersey all the way to the coastal areas of Maine as this elements move east.
It's gone. But it isn't.
Now you can get strong medicine in a cough drop.
It's gone, but it's still working.
Medicine's so effective, the drop keeps working even after it's gone. It's extra strength Vicks, with a full dose of Vicks Vapor Medicine in every drop to relieve your cough and help your scratchy throat and stuffy nose feel better. Extra strength Vicks, so strong it keeps working even after the drop is gone.
It's still working.
Your local forecast is sponsored by Extra Strength Vicks Cough Drops. Extra strong to work even after the drop is gone.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Time for the 5-day business planner, and our first map is the afternoon map for this afternoon, which gives you a good indication of two strong storms, extremely strong storms, particularly this one on the northeast coast. Now, as far as it is concerned, it is not moving away very rapidly. It is continuing to just edge to the east very, very slowly. So that means that by tomorrow morning, you're still going to be seeing some of the precipitation from it, and certainly the winds from it across parts of eastern New England as it moves slowly out to sea. Back to the west, this one gathering its forces for its plunge out of the mountains and into the plains. And there is a sea of wet air right in through here that's going to be providing plenty of moisture for rain from Kansas all the way down to South Texas. The possibility of thunderstorms along this front as it continues to bang east. And back behind in the colder air with the storm itself, there will be snow from New Mexico through Colorado into the Dakotas and all the way north into parts of Canada. So, big storm in the central part of the country beginning to make itself felt as the other one begins to move on out. High temperatures for the day today, 20s and 30s back to the west, far to the south, 30s and 40s mostly in the east, and a few 60s and 70s in the south, but primarily 50-degree temperatures, although the 60s and 70s are being pushed rather far to the south. Now, our trough back here in the west, our unsettled stormy weather that's moving on through, will be pulling colder air down in out of Canada. Not bitterly cold air, because the jet stream is far to the north, the polar jet's very far to the north, but 20s and 30s over a widespread area. To the east, some warm air will stream north all the way into places like Cleveland and Pittsburgh and even into Atlantic City. Some of that snow along the coast most likely will be melting, and therefore it's a problem because that could bring some additional flooding. But in any event, this warmer air will be seen all the way north into southern New England as we go into the day on Wednesday, and it's going to stick around for a while. While to the north, this colder batch of air gets reinforced out of Canada with temperatures in the teens and 20s beginning to move a little bit more to the south. Now, as far as rain is concerned, there'll be just offensive rain from the northern lakes region all the way down to South Texas, snow running along behind it, all moving east.
帮助您开发和赢得国外市场，使您在竞争中占有利地位。
Nous vous accorderons un crédit d'un mois d'appel jusqu'à $2000 lorsque vous changez à AT&T.
Of course, when you switch, we'll reimburse up to $5 per line change and waive new service order charges.
Вы получите 4 месяца с двойными скидками в рамках программы Privilege Option Plan.
Y su satisfacción está garantizada.
No matter how you do business, AT&T has a plan to help you save. Simply put, we want you back. These special savings are our way of welcoming you to the AT&T quality and service you may be missing. Get the competitive edge you need, plus important savings with AT&T's Privilege Option Plan. To save up to $2,000, get double discounts, free hookup, and a satisfaction guarantee, come back to AT&T. Call 1-800-472-1710 and take on the world with a single call.
Here's our winter storm update, so let's plunge right into the thick of things with a look at Worcester, Massachusetts, which looks like something out of a Christmas card. 27 degrees, half-mile visibility with snow and blowing snow, 27 inches of snow on the ground. They had a new 24-hour record of 25 inches of snow. They have picked up 5 additional inches of snow in the last 3 hours. A very bad situation. And the storm, while it's beginning to edge east, is not moving rapidly enough to really bring this all to a halt. So we're looking for additional snow here on top of what has already fallen. You can see a number of spots here with 12 inches to 2 feet, and some places back into southern parts of Pennsylvania, 3 feet of snow. Worcester has picked up, so far, 26 inches of snow, 24 at Otis, Pittsfield 24, 20 at Great Barrington, Cheshire 16, Boston only 3, but Boston's had a lot of rain to contend with too. Coastal flood warnings still along the coast.
A classic nor'easter in New England. Heavy snow, high winds, and high seas. We'll have the whole story coming up on the Weather Channel.
Without O, there'd be no optimists. No joy. You couldn't even play pool. Hold on to all these O's with the Olympus Infinity Stylus. It's so smart, so serious, yet so small that you'll never again say to yourself, oh, I wish I had my camera. Olympus. Never miss another O.
Listen. That's the sound of a unique new flavor, fresh from Hidden Valley. Introducing creamy Parmesan salad dressing. Golden crumbles of real Parmesan cheese with garlic, savory herbs, and spices, blended in a rich, tangy dressing. A sensational new flavor for your salad. Creamy Parmesan, new from Hidden Valley.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information. The forecast for cities nationwide. Regional forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Here's our look at this afternoon's weather and a look at what's been happening in Massachusetts so far as any precipitation is concerned. This is what you're looking at Winthrop, Massachusetts, right near the entrance to Boston Harbor. They've been seeing over the last couple of days winds getting up to hurricane force. We've had tremendous towering seas crashing on shore, spray heavier than the rain at times, and the rain has been remarkably heavy. They are now reporting snow and temperatures below the freezing mark, but it has been a very difficult time. Now that storm continues to spin back offshore, and you can see that Winthrop, being located where it is right about in there, is exposed to the full force of a northeasterly wind, and you can see what's been happening there. Now the storm itself is located right about here, and it is spinning very slowly very slowly edging onto the east. Winds are still gusting over 50 miles an hour in spots on the northeast coast, and the snow has been coming down with such heaviness, and there's a heavy wet snow that visibilities in many places are down to a half to a quarter of a mile. So this storm is not finished with the northeast coast as of yet. Now back to the west of it, we have another storm back in the mountains of the western United States, back into the Four Corners area. This one is driving its way a bit more to the south now. Some of its elements being felt as far south as northern Mexico, where they're picking up rain, and southern Arizona, where they're doing the same. But on up in through here, as it winds its way toward the, eventually toward the prairies, it is dropping snow in the higher elevations at the moment, and things are cooling off dramatically in the west as it moves on through. There's that rain in Texas and Mexico, and also in Mexico and Arizona. Scattered light snow, we are all that we're picking up from this storm at the moment, because radar just doesn't do a very good job of picking up snow, especially in the mountainous areas. It's not good. But boy, we're seeing it here from coastal Maine, turning into rain down in the northern parts of New Jersey, and continuing as rain on back down to about the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, as that storm very slowly edges its way onto the east. A little closer look shows that coastal Maine has got pretty good coverage of the snow right now. We're back in the Hudson River Valley, it's all snow. And to the coast in Boston, it's snow. All but about except parts of Cape Cod. This is all snow down to about this location here in northern New Jersey. And then it is rain on to the south of that. But notice how this stuff is flowing around below, which is offshore, moving in a counterclockwise direction. While the storm is moving east, its snow and rain elements are moving on to the west. Here's a look at the current surface map. You can see that storm offshore. You can see how much snow coverage there still is and rain to the south. High pressure over the southeast, a pretty decent sort of a day, and a great train of wet air coming across Mexico into Texas is going to have an effect on what happens as this front moves on through over the next 24 hours. In the meantime, though, the northeastern, including the Great Lakes region of the country since Wednesday, has been inundated by snow. Heaviest hit, western Pennsylvania, central parts of New England, back down into the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Some of the snowfall amounts 3 feet at Ogletown, Pennsylvania, 28 inches at Frostburg in Maryland. In Massachusetts, Worcester, you saw a picture of Worcester a few minutes ago earlier, 26 inches of snow. That's a lot of 27 now on the ground, and they've had 25 in the past 24 hours. That's a new 24-hour record. Coastal flood warnings along the coast all the way back down to Fenwick Island. Rainfall amounts ranging from 1 1/3 inch at Baltimore to 3.5 inches at Boston. Back to the west, our storm continues to build. This is not a fully adult storm yet, but it's well on its way as it continues to grind on to the east. It has already dropped a foot of snow in the Cascades, in the Klamath Mountains, and on back down the Sierra, as well as in the Wasatch Front in Utah. Now, so far as our jet stream is concerned, what we've got to concern ourselves with here is this low, which is hanging offshore and is not moving. At the moment, it's not. It's just cut off from the general flow, and you can see it's sitting right here. Now, it's going to get bumped out eventually, but it's going to take a day for that to happen at least. while our trough in the west continues to work its way east. Most of the cold air is bottled up to the north of the polar jet stream north into Canada, and as this trough moves on east, it will be doing so in, for this time of the year, reasonably, well, we wouldn't say mild, but not cold, cool weather, I suppose we could call it. By Thursday, our jet stream gets consolidated, the northern and southern branches get their act together and progress as one, with one storm moving through the east, another one coming into the west. Afternoon hours this afternoon, into the early morning hours tomorrow morning, storm moves east. This one continues to work on out, but its winds will still be felt as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow afternoon. We're still looking for the possibility here of a ½ an inch of liquid precip in the northeast, back into the west, and where it's going to be snow, could still be a 6 to 12 inch snowfall in spots there, as well as parts of New Mexico and Arizona. High temperatures for the day today, cool to the north, mild to the south, but everybody getting very chilly tonight.
Parts of the Northeast buried under as much as 3 feet of snow. We'll have the latest on this major winter storm coming up on the Weather Channel.
When you receive your pre-approved Discover Card application, sign it. Because you can't earn cash back until you get it back. It pays to Discover. Do your holiday shopping with the Discover Card, and you'll not only give, you'll receive a cashback bonus for every charge. It pays to Discover.
Now on video, 45 minutes of fast tornado action, plus the 1993 tornado calendar. Just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
The new GeoPrism is designed to such exacting standards, it comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. It covers everything, bumper to bumper. There are no ifs, no ands, no buts, and no deductible. But the best news about Prism isn't its warranty. It's the fact that you may never need it. Get to know the newest GeoPrism at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Watch private lessons on the Weather Channel sponsored by Geo, or read this month's skiing magazine.
You know where I'm going tomorrow?
Where?
I'm flying all the way to Asia.
Can our plane fly there?
Well, maybe if you throw it real hard, it just might.
When you have business on the other side of the world, choose the airline that just cut up to 3 hours off your travel time to cities throughout Asia. With service to more Asian cities than any other U.S. airline, Northwest Airlines, the leading airline to Asia. Some people just know how to fly.
Now here's our look at that weekend travel forecast through today.
Weather Channel brings you two new 1993 calendars. The Weather Guide calendar with phenomenal weather events is filled with stunning color photos and climatic data for cities worldwide. The Weather Wise and Wonders calendar has 365 days of unusual weather facts and trivia and features a built-in thermometer. Both are available now for $9.95 each plus $3 shipping and handling per order. To order by credit card, call 1-800-845-8711 or send check or money order to Weather Calendars, 1407 Larimer Street, number 206, Denver, Colorado 80202. Available at B. Dalton Booksellers nationwide. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Well, high pressure has extended its tentacles over Europe almost exclusively. There are some exceptions, of course, but you can see the broad area that high pressure controls here. And to the north, the storm moving into Scandinavia. There is another one across western Russia and turning into rain on back down across the Black Sea and all the way into Turkey and over into Greece. There is rain to be found. High temperatures for the day tomorrow shows that that high is going to be bringing some cooler air down. 20s, especially in the vicinity of that front as it moves across Russia. 30s in Central and Eastern Europe. 40s and 50s will be the story nearer the Atlantic Ocean. So far as Athens is concerned, showers as that front moves through near 60. Breezy in Brussels near 40. London, a partly cloudy day, upper 40s, a rather pleasant sort of a day. Madrid, partly cloudy, upper 60s, partly cloudy for Frankfurt. Rome will be sunny, low 50s. Paris, clouds in and out, mid-40s. Stockholm, partly cloudy, and Vienna, the same, with temperatures in the 30s in both spots.
Select the latest forecast for your destination from close to 300 more international cities. Just 95 cents a minute. Call 1-900-WEATHER.
In our continuing search for the best of everything, our special segment today applies to all motorists. Straining to see through a rain-soaked windshield is no fun and can be unsafe, but there is a solution. It's called Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper. It dramatically improves wet weather visibility. After my first application, I was a true believer. With Rain-X, you'll feel safer driving in the rain. Go out and get your Rain-X today.
Look for Rain-X, the invisible windshield wiper at all fine automotive departments near you.
Pancakes made with new reduced fat Bisquick have a third less fat, but it's the taste that'll bring them back. Original and now reduced fat Bisquick. Taste how good it can be.
If you've been hiding from nighttime cold medicines, try Robitussin Night Relief.
This is different, dear.
It has no alcohol, unlike that other, which has 25% alcohol. New Robitussin Night Relief, nighttime cold medicine from a name you trust.
Here's our Alaska-Hawaii update. Satellite photograph shows a vast cloud cover and a good-sized storm system moving across the Bay of Alaska and into British Columbia with a huge, long trail of moisture well down into the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We're also seeing a fair amount of cloud cover down in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands. Now, the overall pattern, as we look at the surface map of the Pacific, is one of high pressure stuck in between a couple of fronts. One of them approaching the Hawaiian Islands, connected to this low, which is just moving to the south of Alaska. And there's another one back to the west with a low that's moving out of Siberia and heading toward the Bering Straits. Now, to the south, temperatures are very pleasant, as is usual in Hawaii. Hilo's at 68, Kahului is 67, and Lihue reporting 75 degrees. Temperatures in Alaska, another ball game, however, well below freezing most everywhere you look, and well below zero in quite a few spots as well.
A classic nor'easter in New England. Heavy snow, high winds, and high seas. We'll have the whole story coming up on the Weather Channel.
to know how memory works.
I wonder how often I should save the pages I'm working on.
You'd like to know more about color graphics. You need to know how windows work.
Are these windows going to change my original document?
You'd like to know the difference between personal computers. For everything you need to know and would like to know about computers, there's Understanding Computers from Time Life Books. Call now to examine your first book, Computer Basics, free for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $14.99. Then other books will follow. Cancel anytime. You'll learn the terms they don't explain in computer magazines or manuals to make learning about computers easy, even if you've never used one before. Whatever you need or would like to know, Understanding Computers begins with Time Life Books.
Call 1-800-247-7100 to examine Computer Basics free for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Other books will follow. Cancel anytime. Call now 1-800-247-7100.
You're watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to.